You think we need help from a wounded coward?
I may hold the blood of a king.
Have you ever wondered if there's a hidden secret in the Lion King that could change everything? Get ready for a mind-blowing revelation about Kiros, a mysterious lion who might be the true heir to Pride Rock. When I discovered this secret, I couldn't believe I'd missed it for so long. I rewatched all the Lion King movies and shows, searching for clues. The more I found, the more convinced I became that Kiros is the key to understanding the entire Lion King universe. Now I'm going to share everything I've learned with you, and trust me, once you see the evidence, you'll never look at the Lion King the same way again. Have you ever noticed that mysterious lion always lurking in the background of the Lion King? His name is Kiros, and he's not just some random extra. What if I told you he might actually have a hidden royal lineage that could change everything we thought we knew about the Pride Lands? Let's take a closer look at Kiros and all the clues we've been missing. In scene after scene, we see him silently observing everything that happens in the kingdom. But why? Why is he always there if he's not important to the story? And have you noticed how the other lions treat Kiros? They seem to respect him, even though he's not part of Simba's immediate family. It's almost like they know something about him that we don't. Now let's talk about that scene near Pride Rock. You know the one, right? Where Kiros is just standing there, and suddenly the sun hits him in this really specific way, and it looks like he's wearing a crown made of light. At first glance, you might think it's just a coincidence, a trick of the light, but what if it's not? What if the animators put that in on purpose, trying to give us a hint about Kiros' true identity? And it's not just how he looks, it's how he moves too. Have you ever paid attention to the way Kiros carries himself? He's always so graceful and confident, like he's got some kind of secret knowledge. It's almost like he knows he's royalty, even if nobody else does. So here's what I'm thinking. Kiros isn't just some random lion. He's actually royalty, maybe even the true heir to Pride Rock. I know it sounds crazy, but hear me out. What if Kiros is related to Mufasa or Scar in some way we don't know about yet? What if he's got just as much claim to the throne as Simba, but for some reason he's keeping it a secret? But how can we prove this theory? We need to go back to the beginning and look at all the clues we've missed. We need to examine every scene Kiros appears in, every interaction he has with other characters, every little detail that might give us a hint about his true identity. Think about it. Why would the creators put so much effort into including this character in so many scenes if he wasn't important? They could have just used any old background lion, but instead they chose to give Kiros a distinct appearance and keep bringing him back. There has to be a reason for that, right? And what about his name? Kiros isn't exactly a common name in the Lion King universe. Could it have some special meaning that we haven't figured out yet? Maybe it's an anagram, or maybe it's derived from some ancient lion language that holds the key to unlocking his true identity. Now, I know what you're thinking. If Kiros is really royalty, why hasn't he claimed the throne? Why has he been content to stay in the background all this time? Well, what if he has a good reason for keeping his identity a secret? Maybe he's protecting himself from some unknown threat, or maybe he's waiting for the right moment to reveal the truth. Or here's another thought. What if Kiros is actually working behind the scenes to protect the Pride Lands? Maybe he's like a secret guardian, using his hidden royal status to influence events without drawing attention to himself. It would explain why he's always around during important moments, wouldn't it? The more you think about it, the more it starts to make sense. All those little details that seemed insignificant before suddenly take on a whole new meaning when you look at them through this lens. The way Kiros is always positioned just so in group scenes, the subtle nods of respect he gets from other characters, even the colors used in his design, it all starts to feel like part of a bigger picture. Okay, so we've been talking about all these visual clues about Kiros, but what if the biggest clue of all has been right in front of us this whole time, hidden in plain sight in his name? Because in the Lion King, names aren't just random, they're full of meaning. So what if Kiros' name is actually a secret code revealing his true royal identity? Let's think about it for a second. Kiros isn't exactly a common name in the Pride Lands. It's unique, and that's our first clue, because in the Lion King universe, unique names often mean something special. It's like Kiros' name is this ancient key waiting to unlock royal secrets. Now here's where it gets really interesting. In some languages, Kiros actually means lord or master, which is a pretty big deal for a lion who's supposed to be just hanging out in the background, right? It's like the creators are trying to tell us something without actually telling us. Have you ever noticed how Kiros' name sounds kind of similar to Kiara, you know, Simba's daughter and the future queen of Pride Rock? What if that similarity isn't just a coincidence? What if it's meant to show us that Kiros is connected to the royal family somehow. Maybe he's a long-lost cousin or an uncle we never knew about. And then there's this thing in The Lion King where a lot of the royal lions have names that start with K, like Kiara and Kovu and Kion. It's like a royal family tradition or something. So maybe Kiros' name is actually telling us that he's part of that royal line too. Maybe he's not just connected to the royal family. Maybe he is royal family. But here's the thing, if Kiros is really royalty, why doesn't he have a more obvious royal name like Prince Kiros or King Kiros or something like that? Well, maybe that's part of the secret. Maybe his real name is hidden to protect him from something or someone. Maybe there's a reason he needs to keep his royal identity under wraps. So here's what I'm thinking. Kiros' name is actually a code. It's telling us that he's royalty, but in a way that most people wouldn't notice unless they were really paying attention. It's like a secret message hidden in plain sight for only the most dedicated Lion King fans to discover, but the name is just the beginning. There are so many more clues that show us who Kiros really is. Like, have you ever noticed how he always seems to be in the right place at the right time? It's like he knows things that other lions don't, almost like he has some kind of inside information. And then there's the way he carries himself. It's not like the other background lions who just kind of blend in. Kiros has this presence about him. Like, he knows he's important even if nobody else does. It's in the way he walks, the way he holds his head high, the way he looks at the other lions. It's like he's got a secret and he's just waiting for the right moment to reveal it. But why would Kiros keep his royal identity a secret in the first place? Well, maybe it's for protection. Maybe there's someone out there who would want to hurt him if they knew who he really was. Or maybe he's waiting for the right moment to reveal himself. Maybe there's some kind of prophecy or tradition that says he can only claim his royal status under certain conditions. Or what if it's even bigger than that? What if Kiros is actually the true heir to Pride Rock and he's been watching and waiting all this time, making sure that the Pride Lands are in good hands before he steps up to take his rightful place on the throne? It would explain why he's always there in the background observing everything that happens. Okay, so we've been talking about Kiros maybe being royal, but now let's get into the really mind-blowing stuff, because what if Kiros is actually a missing piece of the Pride Lands history that we never knew about before, and it changes everything we thought we knew about the Lion King story? So let's look at some crazy theories about how Kiros might fit into the family tree. First up, could Kiros be related to Mufasa? There's this scene where they look so similar. It's freaky. But if Kiros is Mufasa's son, why don't we see them act like father and son? Maybe he's hiding his identity. But why? Alternatively, what if Kiros is Mufasa's brother? That would make him Simba's uncle. But then why isn't he king instead of Scar when Mufasa dies? Unless he's younger than Scar, but that still doesn't explain why he's not more involved in Pride affairs. Consider this possibility. Kiros could be Scar's son. We know Scar had hyenas on his side, so maybe he had a secret family too. This might explain why Kiros is always around but never really part of things. He could be hiding his identity to stay safe. But here's the theory that I think makes the most sense. What if Kiros is actually Ahadi's son? Ahadi is Mufasa and Scar's father, so this would make Kiros their half-brother. It explains why he's treated with respect but isn't in line for the throne. He's royal but not directly in succession. If Kiros is Ahadi's son from a different relationship, that's why he's not openly acknowledged as royalty, but still allowed around Pride Rock. He's caught between two worlds, which explains his observer role. Here's where it gets interesting. What if Ahadi trained Kiros as a backup plan, knowing Scar might be trouble? This could be why Kiros is always in the background during important moments, secretly protecting the royal family. And what if Kiros has some special ability or knowledge from Ahadi? Maybe he can communicate with the great kings of the past, or knows ancient lion magic to protect the Pride Lands from hidden threats. If Kiros is really Ahadi's son and Mufasa and Scar's half-brother, it raises so many questions. Does Simba know? Is that why he lets Kiros stay around? Do Kiara and Kion know they have a secret uncle watching over them? And here's a crazy thought. What if Kiros is actually guiding Rafiki? Maybe Rafiki isn't as wise as we think, and Kiros is the one giving him all the information and advice he passes on to Simba and the others. That would explain why Rafiki always seems to know exactly what's going on and what to do. Okay, so we've been talking about Kiros being royalty, but what if there's something even bigger going on here that we've completely missed this whole time? Because think about it, Kiros might have a secret role that's way more important than just being another lion in the royal family. There's this really old legend about a special guardian lion who watches over Pride Rock and protects it from all kinds of danger, but no one knows who this guardian lion is. It's like a big mystery that's been driving everyone crazy for years. But what if that mysterious guardian lion is actually Kiros? Think about it for a second. We always see Kiros showing up in these really important places at really important times. It's like he knows exactly where he needs to be and when he needs to be there. Like he's got some kind of special sense that tells him when something big is about to go down. And remember that weird scene where the light hits Kiros and it looks like he's wearing a crown? Well, what if it's actually showing us that he's got this special connection to the great kings of the past? Maybe the great kings chose Kiros for this super important secret guardian role, and that's why he's always hanging around in the background watching everything that's going on but never getting directly involved, because his job isn't to be in the spotlight. His job is to keep an eye on things and make sure everything's okay and step in if things start to go wrong. And you know how we were wondering why Kiros never tries to take the throne even though he might have a right to it? Well, this would explain everything, because if he's the secret guardian of Pride Rock, then he's got a way more important job than just being king. He's not supposed to be running things, he's supposed to be protecting everything from behind the scenes. But here's where it gets really interesting. If Kiros really is the secret guardian, why keep it a secret? Well, think about it. If everyone knew that Kiros was this super powerful guardian chosen by the great kings themselves, it would change everything about how the Pride Lands work. Maybe keeping it a secret is part of what makes Kiros so effective as a guardian, because if no one knows who he really is, then no one can try to stop him from doing his job or try to use his power for their own purposes. And it would explain why the other lions seem to respect Kiros, even though they don't really know who he is. Maybe they can sense that there's something special about him, even if they don't know exactly what it is. And what if Kiros has some kind of special abilities that the great kings gave him to help him protect Pride Rock? Like maybe he can see things that other lions can't, or maybe he knows stuff about the future that helps him prevent bad things from happening before they even start. That would explain why he always seems to be in the right place at the right time. So here's what I'm thinking. Kiros isn't just some random lion who might be related to the royal family. He's actually this incredibly important secret protector of Pride Rock who was chosen by the great kings themselves to watch over everything and keep the Pride Lands safe from danger. But if all of this is true, then it raises a whole bunch of new questions. Like, how long has Kiros been doing this job? And does anyone else know about it? Like, does Simba know that Kiros is this secret guardian, or is he completely in the dark about it? And what about all those times when bad things happened in the Pride Lands, like when Scar took over? Was Kiros there the whole time trying to fix things without anyone noticing? Okay, so we've been talking about Kiros being this secret guardian, but there's more to it than that, because there's this ancient prophecy that nobody talks about anymore, and it might explain why Kiros is always in the right place at the right time, but never seems to take charge. What if Kiros is the actual subject of this long-forgotten prediction? Think about all the times the Pride Lands have faced serious danger, like when Scar took over, or when Zira and the Outlanders were threatening war, or even when Scar's ghost came back to haunt everyone, but somehow things always worked out in the end, even when it seemed like all hope was lost. What if Kiros was secretly working behind the scenes, making sure everything turned out okay? The prophecy talks about a forgotten prince who would return to save everyone in their darkest hour. But what if that prince has been right under our noses all along? What if it's Kiros and he's been fulfilling this prophecy without anyone even realizing it? It's like a whisper of fate in the wind, guiding the Pride Lands through troubled times. But here's where it gets really interesting. What if the reason Kiros never steps into the spotlight is because the prophecy itself says he has to remain hidden? Maybe that's the key to his power. Maybe by staying in the background, he can influence events in ways that wouldn't be possible if everyone knew who he really was. And think about this. What if Kiros has been subtly guiding Simba and the other lions all along, helping them make the right decisions at crucial moments without them even realizing it? Like maybe he whispered something to Rafiki that made him go find Simba in the jungle. Or maybe he nudged Kiara in the right direction so she could make peace with Kovu and the Outlanders. But if Kiros is this prophesied prince, why doesn't he just reveal himself and take charge when things get really bad? Well, maybe that's not how the prophecy works. Maybe it specifically says that the forgotten prince has to remain forgotten in order to truly protect the Pride Lands. Maybe if he stepped forward and claimed his role, it would actually make things worse. And here's another thought, what if the reason Kiros seems to know so much about what's going on in the Pride Lands is because he can actually communicate with the great kings of the past? Maybe that's part of his special role as the Forgotten Prince. Maybe he's the link between the living lions and the spirits of their ancestors. But wait, if Kiros is this super important prophesied prince, why haven't we heard about him before? Well, what if that's actually part of the prophecy too? What if it says that knowledge of the Forgotten Prince has to fade away for him to do his job properly? Maybe that's why even in the oldest stories about the Pride Lands, there are only vague hints about a mysterious lion who shows up to help in times of need. And here's something else to think about. What if Kiros isn't the first Forgotten Prince? What if there's been a whole line of them throughout the history of the Pride Lands? Each one passing down their secret knowledge and responsibility to the next. Maybe that's why Kiros seems so comfortable in his role. Maybe he's been prepared for it his whole life. But if all this is true, it totally changes everything we thought we knew about the Lion King story, because it means there's been this whole other layer to everything that's been happening, a hidden guardian working behind the scenes to make sure the Pride Lands stay safe and prosperous. We've been talking about Kiros and his hidden role in the Lion King universe, but now there's exciting chatter in the fan community about a possible new Lion King project that could change everything we thought we knew about the Pride Lands and its history. Rumors suggest this new project might uncover hidden secrets from the past and explore untold stories that have been lurking in the shadows all along. And you know who's been lurking in the shadows this whole time? That's right, our mysterious friend Kiros. Imagine finally seeing Kiros' story from the very beginning, finding out why he's been keeping such a low profile all these years and what he's really been up to while all the drama with Simba and Scar was going down. We could discover that he's been working behind the scenes this whole time, making sure everything works out for the best, even when things looked pretty grim. This new project could show us scenes from the original movies and the Lion Guard series, but from Kiros' perspective. Suddenly, all those moments where we saw him hanging around in the background might mean something completely different. We could see him secretly guiding Simba, warning Rafiki about danger, or even using some kind of ancient lion magic to protect the Pride Lands from threats we never even knew about. This revelation about Kiros could be the key to unlocking a whole new chapter in the Lion King saga, with new adventures, challenges, and maybe even new villains that only Kiros, with his secret knowledge and abilities, can help our favorite characters face. Think about how this could change the way we see characters like Simba and Nala. Have they known about Kiros' true identity all along, or are they going to be just as shocked as we are when the truth comes out? And what about the younger generation like Kiara and Kion? How will they react when they find out there's been this powerful guardian watching over them their whole lives without them even realizing it? The possibilities are endless if Disney really goes all in on this Kiros storyline. We could be looking at a whole new era for the Lion King franchise with Kiros at the center of it all. Maybe we'll see him training the next generation of secret guardians, facing off against an ancient evil that's been waiting for the right moment to strike, or even traveling to other parts of Africa to uncover more hidden secrets about the history of the animal kingdom. Even if this new project doesn't end up being all about Kiros, the fact that these rumors are circulating shows that there's still so much hunger for new Lion King stories and so much potential left to explore in this world we all love. It's like the Pride Lands are a gift that keeps on giving, with layer upon layer of rich history and hidden connections just waiting to be uncovered. So get ready, Lion King fans, because we might be standing on the edge of something big. Whether it's an official reveal about Kiros or just the next chapter in this incredible story we've all been following for years, the excitement is building and the possibilities are endless. And the best part is, we get to be here for all of it, watching as the puzzle pieces come together and maybe, just maybe, finally learning the truth about the mysterious lion who's been watching over the Pride Lands all along. So we've uncovered the hidden story of Kiros, the forgotten prince of Pride Rock. Could he be the most important character in the whole Lion King universe? It's crazy to think about, but what if it's true? Next time you watch any Lion King movie or show, keep your eyes peeled for Kiros. You might spot clues we missed now that we know to look for them. Sometimes the characters in the background are actually pulling all the strings. What if Kiros has been there all along, watching over the Pride Lands? It's like he's been hiding in plain sight. Isn't it wild how one character can change everything we thought we knew about a beloved story? What other hidden heroes might we find if we look closer?